You are not going to believe what my heart tried to pull. I bought my dream house a few years ago. It's this beautiful historic property with a massive, stunning garden. It's my little piece of paradise. The house is part of a homeowners association, which, up until this point, had been pretty reasonable. A few emails about lawn maintenance, a reminder about trash cans. You know, the usual stuff. Nothing prepared me for the letter I received last month. It was a crisp, official-looking envelope with the HOA logo. I figured it was just a quarterly newsletter. I opened it up, and my jaw hit the floor. It wasn't a newsletter. It was a formal notification, almost like an invoice, detailing an event scheduled to take place at my property. My property. The event? A wedding. For a couple I had never heard of in my life. The date was set for a Saturday, just 6 weeks away. The letter was written in this bizarrely cheerful, matter-of-fact tone. It talked about the community's delight in using designated historic properties for special occasions. It mentioned that my garden was selected for its exceptional beauty and photogenic qualities. It even included a schedule. Setup at 9 a.m., ceremony at 3 p.m., reception until 10 p.m. They had planned a 100-guest wedding in my backyard, and this letter was the first I was hearing of it. I must have read it 10 times, thinking it had to be a mistake, a prank, or a massive misunderstanding. Maybe it was meant for a community clubhouse he didn't know about. But no more. My address was printed right there at the top. Designated historic property? I mean, yes, the house is old and has some local significance, but I own it. It's private property. There's nothing in my deed or the HOA bylaws that says they can just turn my home into a public event venue. I immediately grabbed my phone and called the number for the HOA president, a woman named Carol. It went straight to voicemail. I left a message, trying to keep my voice calm, explaining that there must be a huge error and that no more wedding was happening at my house. I then emailed the general HOA contact address, attaching a picture of the letter and stating, in no more uncertain terms, that this was unauthorized and unacceptable. An hour went by. Nothing. Another hour. Silence. My initial confusion was rapidly turning into white-hot anger. How could they be so brazen? Did they really think they could just commandeer my home? By the end of the day, with no more reply, I decided he had to go to the source. The next morning, I drove down to the management company that runs the HOA. I walked in and asked to speak to Carol. The receptionist told me she was in a meeting. I said he would wait. I sat there for almost 2 hours. Finally, Carol emerged, looking annoyed that he hadn't just left. He stood up, held out the letter, and sighed, "We need to talk about this." She glanced at it and smiled. A real, genuine smile. "Oh, wonderful. You got the notification. Isn't it exciting? The Millers are such a lovely couple. Your garden will be the perfect backdrop for their special day." I was speechless. She was acting like she was doing me a favor. "Exciting? Carol, you can't be serious. You've scheduled a wedding for 100 strangers at my private residence without my permission." Her smile faded. "Well," she sighed, her tone shifting, "it's not really a matter of permission. The bylaws allow the association to utilize properties of significant community value for approved events. It's a great way to foster community spirit." He felt like he was in an alternate reality. "Show me," he sighed. "Show me the exact line in the bylaws that says you can force me to host a wedding." She huffed and led me to a small conference room, pulling a thick binder off a shelf. She flipped through pages for what felt like an eternity, her confidence visibly shrinking with every page turn. Finally, she pointed to a vague clause about promoting community harmony through shared use of amenities. "Amenities? Carol, my private home is not a community amenity like a pool or a tennis court." I shut back. "This is my house. You are trespassing." She started to stammer about precedent and how it had been interpreted this way before, though she couldn't name a single instance. It was clear she had either completely made it up or was stretching a meaningless rule to its breaking point. She thought she could just bully me into it. I told her, flat out, "Cancel it. The wedding is not happening here. You have 24 hours to send me written confirmation that it has been cancelled and that the couple has been informed. If you don't receive that, you'll be hearing from my lawyer." Her face went pale. The word lawyer was the magic key. The bravado vanished. She mumbled something about needing to consult the board and scurried away. "Trudy, my word, When 24 hours passed with no more confirmation, he called my lawyer. He was a shark. He drafted a cease and desist letter so sharp it could shoot glass. It outlined potential charges, including trespassing, harassment, and misrepresentation. He also found that the HOA's insurance absolutely did not cover private events on a homeowner's property without their explicit, written consent. If anything went wrong, the HOA board members, including Carol, could be held personally liable. We sent it via certified mail and email. Less than an hour after the email was sent, my phone rang. It was a frantic Carol. Okay, we've cancelled it. It was all a misunderstanding. We've already called the couple and are arranging an alternative venue. Please, there's no more need for lawyers. The misunderstanding line was reached, but he had won. He made her send me that written confirmation, and he had my lawyer review it. The story doesn't quite answer, though. A few days later, he got a knock on my door. It was the bride and groom. They were mortified. They explained that Carol and the HOA had sold them a venue package, showing them pictures of my garden and telling them it was a designated community event space. They had already paid the HOA a hefty venue fee. They were incredibly apologetic and just wanted to see the place they thought they were getting married. It felt terrible for them. It wasn't their fault at all. They were victims of the HOA scam too. He invited them in, gave them some tea, and let them vent. They were scrambling to find a new venue on short notice. After they left, he forwarded their story to my lawyer. He was furious on their behalf. He ended up helping them, pro bono, to get a full refund and damages from the HOA for the fraud and the cost of booking a new last-minute venue. The fallout at the next HOA meeting was epic. Carol was forced to give a public apology. The board had to issue a clarification to all homeowners that they had absolutely no more right to use private homes for events. Several board members resigned in disgrace. The HOA's reputation was in tatters, and rightly so. They learned a very expensive lesson about respecting private property. And me? I can finally enjoy my beautiful garden in peace, without worrying about a surprise wedding party showing up. Thanks for listening to my story, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more.